been hanging out by the Hobbit house pond.
Where is our Hobbit?
And I have to completely change the recycled pond concept. After looking at this, pond is missing a critical piece. I have some crazy ideas. Check this out. So building the Hobbit house pond, this was a really fun, unique process, and I was using a mixture of recycled materials from surrounding properties as well as my own property. Old rocks, I got logs coming from adjacent neighbors, I have old oak beams coming from old farms, tractor equipment, and all these different pieces of recycled metal, which actually turned into this window. The window was not originally part of the design, and what I think is really important about this is I wanted this waterfall, I wanted this hidden house, but then all of a sudden I'm like, I need a window to see inside, and this is one of the most popular things when we have all of our guests coming to the property. They notice the waterfall and the window.
Get up. Confounded old Samwise Gamgee! Have you been eavesdropping?
I ain't been dropping no eaves, sir, honest.
So right now, the recycled pond is missing a critical piece, and it's that. It's viewing inside. So I need to have some way to cut that tub apart and insert a window. I've done it before. I have to do it again because it's gonna make this project that much better. So we're on the inside of the Hobbit house.
We've got the Shire.
You can see all the beautiful old oak beams, and then that incredible window gives us that view going inside and outside. But the other thing that I'm thinking of after sitting inside of here is adding in all these little artistic elements. This is going to be a really cool pond, so I want to make sure that I have all these pockets of vegetation and everything to really push this project over the top. Decided to pull the trigger and order a piece of acrylic for this. But actually it just arrived, so thankfully our supplier is located locally here in the Chicagoland area, so he was able to make this happen really quick for me. I just dropped it in place. I'm going to mark it out so I could cut the actual tank itself. So I'm going to modify the tank, which is a little bit kind of scary because this is actually an incredible tank. I mean, it's seen a lot of use over the years, but it works really well. It's a great size. We do have two of them, but I want to go ahead and I want to cut this because I think by opening this up, it's going to completely, and I mean completely, transform the look of this project. Approximately, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches away from each end. I'm going to cut this probably back over in here somewhere. I want to make sure that I have an overlap going all the way around because I'm going to seal this in between the acrylic and the tank, which I'm going to have to clean this tank a lot better than what it currently is. I also picked up aluminum channel for around the outside edge. Now, you've seen me do some of this stuff before, and I've made some heavy duty steel frames. It's way overkill for this application. So I just went to Home Depot, bought some standard items. So I'm going to put a channel up against this. In between the channels, I have a PVC wood. It's supposed to look like wood. I shouldn't say PVC wood. It's meant to look like wood, and it's used for outdoor trim for buildings and things like that. So it's inexpensive, it doesn't rot, so I think that's actually going to work out perfect. So it's going to go across the top of the channel, and it's going to bridge across to the acrylic, and I'm going to drill a hole through the PVC, through the actual tank, and I'm going to put a series of screws in place. So as I tighten them, it's going to draw everything together, and it's going to be like a sandwich, and it's going to put pressure on this because there's going to be silicone in between, so it's going to squish that stuff together, and the silicone will spread itself out nice and evenly, and it's going to hold everything in place. It's going to lock it all up. The challenge that I had was this basin here is only 18 inches, so I got a 16-inch piece of acrylic, so it's going to give me a little bit of an edge down on the bottom, which will actually work out perfect because I'm going to have river rock or sand, or I have no idea what I'm going to use on the bottom yet. Some sort of a substrate down here on the bottom, but I don't want to see that, so I'm just going to have that kind of blend up to that edge. It's going to give me a little bit of a lip. And now on the front side of things, what I'm going to have to do, once this is cut out, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about here. It's going to completely transform that. It's going to give us that visibility that we're looking for going in the middle. Transition between the bottom of this, and I have to hide those aqua blocks. I have to be able to allow water to reconnect with the pumping system, which is located on the back of this basin. So I'm going to have a waterfall coming out, it's going to trickle down, and then it's going to come back in, and the water's going to go back through into those aqua blocks. But I want to disguise this. I don't want to see the tank, I don't want to see the aqua blocks, I don't want to see the infrastructure. This is just like any of my other projects. I want to just make everything look seamless, and then I'm going to come in with some vegetation, just take this project project over the top. And again, this is just a test. I want to do a blown out version of this with the pond guy, where we actually transform part of our warehouse into just an unbelievable, you know, tropical paradise. This is going to be a really cool test. I'm looking forward to, you know, watching the project progress. Just finished cutting out the actual tank. I apologize for all the noise. Like I said, I'm building this in our sandbox. It's in the middle of our warehouse. Crazy to see a full-blown home, outdoor living area and everything inside of a warehouse in an industrial park. But here I am. So this is actually an awesome spot for me to work. But I do have a lot of noises, trucks coming in and out, forklifts operating, etc. So I just cut the opening out. I have about 1.5 to 2 inch overlap going around to everything for my bond between the actual tank and the acrylic. Went a little bit narrower on the bottom because I wanted to give as much of that depth as possible. I went wider on the edge because I actually have tons of flexibility going in that direction. What's interesting about this particular project, and again, I'm hoping to reuse this tank in a lot of different applications, so I definitely want a watertight seal. But in this particular application, if there was a problem or a breach or anything goes wrong, the water's being held in place by this subterranean system. So the aqua blocks, the rubber membrane, all this stuff is going to hold all of the water. If I do have an issue, it's not that critical. But again, when you're doing something, you always want to make sure that everything's being done properly, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm not going to cut any corners, but it is nice to have that fail safe. So just it's a nice peace of mind. So now what I need to do before I actually seal the actual acrylic on is I have to come in, I have to clean off this surface a little bit better. I washed it off originally, but you can still see there's some scale and some old marks on there. I'm then going to come in, I'm going to drill all my little holes going through my bolts, and I'm going to start assembling everything and locking everything in place here. Tilt your fork back. There it is, right there.
That was good. Let's get another one.
Well, it was a piece of rock that shot off somewhere and it just hit the wall. While I'm here this afternoon, I want to try to get a few more things taken care of, and this is going to be my focus. You saw me putting in the window, so the piece that I cut out, I actually put back in place just to protect it. I'm going to start dropping in some more of the decorative pieces. We have these large boulders going in place. I want to get another log or something, which is where the stump is going to go here. I would like to try to get this plumbed up. I need to get my bulkhead fittings installed and sealed, so we're ready for water flow coming through here. I could also start working on this beautiful waterfall coming out, and I'm gonna have to figure out either a tall skinny piece of rock or another log or stump or something in that corner, because I want to have those bulkhead fittings are going to feed water that's coming into the pond. It's going to overflow out into a little bit of a catch pool here, and it's going to wrap its way kind of in front of that window is my goal. So I'm trying to pull off something a little bit funky and unique here, just because, you know, I have the pieces, the equipment. I think it's interesting stuff. I love getting ideas, and I may start taking these ideas, like everything I do, you build on top of all your experiences, because Greg and I are talking about doing a larger version of this later on this year or winter of 2024. I'm going to come in here and start doing some more of the finishing work, as well as getting this guy plumbed up so I can keep progress moving forward. So I have been working with all of this recycled material so far. This also was a recycled rock. The reason I could tell is you're gonna find foam on here. So this was used in other projects and things like that. So I love recycling some of this material. This is gonna be the perfect craggy piece. It's gonna accent this amazing feature. What I love about it is I'm gonna use natural stone here in the foreground, and it's gonna transition to that fake stuff in the back. I just wanted to get a little bit of that realistic stuff here in the foreground, because that's what you're gonna see first. I have been trying to pull off this entire project so far by myself.
You do not understand. I can't lie. I can't do anything dishonest.
But there are times when you have to ask for help. So I have Team Aquascape out here giving me a hand. They're gonna help me set a couple of these big natural rocks. Then I'm gonna be able to finish along with some of the smaller handwork. Now that this one is set, I wanna move over and shift to the other side. We're gonna try to get another natural big rock over there, frame out the section of a waterfall. What I wanna do right now is pull this strap off and get ready for the next stone. Want to get this project wrapped up. Again, like I said before, problem is other projects happening, collaborations, you name it, it is all happening at the exact same time. I only have a few hours here today because tomorrow I'm going out and helping Brian with Team Aquascape on a really cool project, which I'm looking forward to. And then next week, I actually leave town and I go to Utah to hook up with the pond guy. We were doing that an incredible collaboration with Waldorf Astoria, which is going to be a regional event. We're also going to have some time to do little fishing, little hiking, little biking, enjoying all the beauties of Utah.